Welcome, my friends, to another night of Painting with Harold. And tonight we have a 16 by 20 canvas. Already applied a thin, even coat of liquid white. My colors tonight are titanium white, Prussian blue, alizarin crimson, Van Dyke brown, dark sienna, mountain mix, sap green, cad yellow, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, and the evil bright red. Tonight I thought we'd do something that I kind of got stuck in my head. Don't really know how it's going to turn out. If you're watching the video, then it must have been satisfactory at least. Don't know that it'll be perfect, but we're going to have a shot at it. And first thing we're going to do is pick up the big 2-inch brush, and I'm going to go right into a little of the Prussian blue and tap it right into the bristles. And I'm going to come up, get my corners dark, work that color down a little bit into the corners. And with the X strokes, we'll go right across the top, just like so. Now, just like always, while you're working this color across and down, you'll start to see it get lighter and lighter as you get toward the horizon. And that's kind of what we want. We want it to get lighter as it goes down. And then we're going to try to leave us some little light spots up here. We'll come across real gentle. Blend that color out. Real gentle. And we'll hang on to that brush for now. And we're going to pick us up a fan brush. And we're going to go straight into the titanium white. Probably not going to load the sky down with clouds today, but we'll put a couple little clouds in. Just want to come up and just make our little circles with the corner of the fan brush. And then come back, give it a little body. Just like so. And pick up a little more of the titanium white. We'll come on this side and we'll do the same thing. Just keep the brush moving. Anytime you're doing clouds, that is the trick, is to keep the brush moving. I mean, even if all you did was just come up here and smeared color everywhere, it would still make a cloud. Alright, now I'm going to pick up just a little bit of the blue and a very little bit of the alizarin crimson, and I'm going to mix them right on the brush. And what I'm going for is a light lavender color. And you already got a little white on the brush, so it'll help lighten that color down some. We don't want a real bright lavender color here. I mean a real dark lavender. We want a light lavender color. I'm going to come right back into the bottom of these clouds and just come across and touch some of that lavender color in all the way across. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Just Just tap it in the bottom of your clouds. That's all you want to do. And then just like that, let's put a little bit right there. Just like that, we are ready to wash the brush. All right. And we'll take us a clean, dry 1-inch brush, and we'll come up with the corner of the brush, and we'll just start lightly blending this color. Stay out of the top of the clouds, just from about middle ways down. And if you do get in the top, well, there's nothing to cry about. You can always come back and add a little color. You can add the color back in if you get a little too much. All right, we'll do the same thing on this side. Just kind of blend it out along the bottom, about like so. About like that. That's all we're looking for. And then very lightly come up and fluff it up, just like so. And then 2 hairs in some air, very gently blend out your brush strokes. And just like that, we have some clouds in the sky. All right, we'll hang on to that brush for now. Now let's pick up our big knife. Let's go into our mountain color and pull it out flat. Come across and get that little roll of paint. And let's determine, okay, our first mountain's going to be over here. We're going to come in about like so. Okay, then we will come on this side. We'll bring us in another little peak here. We'll come out about like so. Now, excuse me, all we're working on right now is that top part of the mountain. We're not concerned with the inside body yet. I want to come in here. I want to do us another one, about like so. Just like that. Now, like I said, this painting's kind of been stuck in my mind. And I may not be able to do it all in one part tonight, and if not, I'll break it down into a couple parts. I don't want to run a painting that's going to bore you guys to the point of where you don't want to watch it, because that is definitely not my purpose for doing this. All I try to do is show you my style of painting and a few things that works for me, and I hope that if applied properly, they work for you as well. And like I've said in other videos, if you see anything I do that confuses you, or you're like, well, why'd you do that? Just feel free to comment, ask me, and if you see something that you think I'm doing wrong, say, hey Harold, I think you could have done that a little different. Because I do not claim to know it all. Trust me. There are painters out there on YouTube right now that, these guys are phenomenal artists. come in with one more right here. I'm trying to vary the heights of these mountains. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I don't want them all the same, but at the same token, I want them big enough that we can tell what's going on. Right, and I want one a little bigger out here on this side to kind of close that in. I will bring that in out here like this. We'll run it on off the canvas. And we'll bring this one in. About like so. That's all we got to do right there. Alright, now we've got what I consider a pretty decent mountain range going across here. I'm going to work on this one just a little bit. I'm not 100% happy with that. Alright, now I want to come in here and get tough with this paint. I'm going to get as close to our lines as we can without getting outside of them, because we all know what happens if you get outside the line. We are on it with mountains that grow on us. But just like so, just get in there and get as aggressive with it as you can. You probably hear that knife scraping. I don't know if you can or not over them birds. Alright, about like so. That's what we're looking for. Alright, now the brush that we used to put the sky in with, I'll knock a little of that Prussian blue out. And we'll come up here to our first mountain. We'll start pulling our color down. We'll just work our brush right up to the line and just start pulling this color out. Just trying to be careful not to get outside of our lines. But now if we do, we'll fix it. We won't do nothing that we can't fix. If we mess up, we will fix it. Somehow or another. Even if it means starting completely over. Okay. And then over here a little on our last one. Just like so. Alright, then we'll knock a lot of this color out. Because what we want to do is, we want to get that color, we want to get it stained into the canvas, which it's going to do that if you're pushing it in. I mean, it's going to get in there and stain that canvas. And once it stains that canvas, it's in here. I mean, it will stay with it. But we want to pull as much of this paint out that we can for a couple reasons. One, it helps the next layer of paint goes on. And then secondly, by getting that mountain lighter at the bottom, it's going to help with our distance. It's going to make it look like it's sitting down in mist when we get to that point. And we're about there. So now sometimes when you're pulling the color out, you start seeing shapes in your mountain. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And if you do see the shapes, it will help you big time on how to lay your mountain out. Because tonight we may use a technique that I haven't used yet on mountains. We'll just wait and see how it goes. About like that. That's what we're looking for. Alright, now if you can see where I'm at on my canvas, I'm at a little above half. And that's because we're going to have a few things happening down here. Alright, now I will get ready to wash that brush. Alright. Now, we're going to go back in. Pick up our knife. Grab us some white and bring it over here separate in its own little area. We want to pull it out as flat as we can get it. And then come across. Pick up a little roll of white. If you can see that little roll, it's not very much at all. Alright, we'll come up here and very gently let that paint touch. You can feel it when it touches, and just let that knife fall. Just very gently. Just very gently. And as that knife starts falling and that paint starts rolling under it, it'll start giving you those little breaks in it. And those little breaks are what gives you your look that, you know, hey, there's something going on under that. Now I've done a couple videos of how to do mountains without a brush. Oh, I'm sorry, with a brush, not using the knife. And by no means let that make you give up on the knife, because it's still very important that you learn how to use the knife. And it's just practice. I mean, that's all there is to it. Getting used to that feel. Because once you develop the feel for it, and it starts happening for you, you'll get so much confidence with that knife in the future that, I mean, you won't hesitate to do anything with it. You'll be able to pick it up and do cabins, trees, whatever. Just whatever it is you want to do. You'll have so much confidence in it. And all this is just a very gentle touch and pull. I mean, that's all it is. There's not a hidden trick that, you know, nobody's telling you about. I mean, it's just I really wish I could explain it better. But all it is just a very, very light touch and pull. Basically, you don't let the blade of the knife touch the canvas. You're just letting that roll of paint touch. Alright, we'll get some more out here. We'll pull it flat as we can get it. Get that little roll of paint. We'll come up here. Just touch and pull. That's all we're doing. Just very gently. You can see how I'm holding that knife. I'm holding it between my fingers. Now I could barely open my fingers right now and this knife would fall. I'm not putting a finger behind it to apply pressure. I'm just holding it real loose. Like, I mean, you can see how loose it is. But just, I mean, you can feel the paint when it touches the canvas. And when it touches, just lightly pull down. That's all you're doing. Just lightly pull down. You're almost letting it fall by itself, to be honest with you. Bob said he told Steve that to act like he was a whisper going across the canvas. And I know Steve is back painting. He's doing classes and stuff, and I think Dana's helping him. Bram, Bram Bevins is helping him. They're all doing classes, which Bram does his own classes too. Bram's an excellent painter. Steve and Dana are excellent painters. And I haven't found any paintings on YouTube like where Steve and them's doing their classes. But I mean, Steve can paint mountains because you saw him on the Joy of Painting back when he was painting with his dad. And I mean, them mountains he done back then were tremendous. And you got Nick Hankins, it's who taught me at New Smyrna, and I took a class with David Brancato. That was photorealism, and David is an excellent artist. Nick is him and his wife both are tremendous artists. I'm just trying to think of some that I don't think would get mine if I mention their name. Because it's not like I'm looking for anything from any of them. I mean, I haven't reached out and touched any base with none of them and asked them would they mind, but I don't think they would, because I'm not trying to inflict any harm on their name. There's another guy on Facebook. He's not doing YouTube videos right now, I don't think, but I know he's on Facebook, and he is an amazing artist. Jeff, I hope I say his name right, Chivarini. He is an absolutely wonderful artist. I mean, he has got some beautiful work. But just, if you get time, go into some of the Facebook groups and that are dedicated to beginner painting and Bob Ross in general, or oil paint, and you can see some of the works that these guys are posting. I'm telling you, it's mind-boggling that some of the work they're doing. I'm just sitting here running off at the mouth. I'm not even paying attention. I'm not even telling you what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. All I'm doing is the same thing. It's just touching very lightly, and when I use all the paint, I'm just going back to get some more. I'm just touching it on the canvas, just real lightly. And just like that, I've taught myself all the way across, and just about finished the whole mountain range here. Just running off at the mouth. All right, you can see how the white paint broke. Now we got to do our shadows, and for that we're gonna pick up just a little bit of the Prussian blue. We'll bring it right into that white. Mix it all together. I'll take that little bit of lavender color that we had left over from the clouds. I'll bring it in. It's not really going to be enough to really do a whole lot of good, but you'll be able to see some of it. Alright, and we'll pull that just as flat as we can get it. Now, up here at the top, it gets kind of, well, I got paint all over me again. It gets kind of hard to get the big edge in there, in these tight places, so you can use that little edge. And you just put a roll of paint on it, just like you do your big edge, and just come up and just lightly pull. And if you can pull a little of that color over with you and you pull down, it'll just look like light spilling over. That's all we're doing. And this is just the lightest touch as putting the snow on. No difference. You still want to use that light touch. And just work your way around the outside edge. Maintain your angle. And just apply the shadow. And just little light strokes, just like you did the highlights. Just little light strokes. That's all we're doing. Just like so. Just like so. And it never takes as much shadow as it does highlight. So you can keep that in mind. Just like so. That's all we want to do. Just like that. That's all we want to do. Then we come down and pick us up some more. Go to our next little range. Same thing. Come in, touch your white, and just very gently pull out of the top, working down at that angle. And by touching that white and then pulling it out, it just looks like a little light spilled over. And then you just work the shadow color down into the depth, into the darkness. And then anywhere you see a highlight that don't have a shadow with it, just go in there and add a shadow. Because without a shadow, it won't stand out. You won't be able to see it. It's got to have that shadow to become extinct. Just like so. Make that look like a little valley running down through there. Then we'll move over to our next one. You can see we got a little spot right here that needs a little shadow. And by using that top part of the knife, you can sneak in there so easy. Just like so. And bring it out. Just like so. And that's all we're going to do all the way across is just bring that shadow down behind our highlights and give our mountain some different angles and let it kind of shape itself up to where it looks like it's got ridges and humps and bumps. Then when you get to a spot that's got a lot of dark in that, you can just kind of come in there and just add you a little shadow. And just work that shadow out kind of along your highlight. Just like that. And it gives it little just little variances of, like right here, you can see how that's dark like that. If you come in here with like a U shape and just kind of work it up, see, it gives that a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh crap. I mean, oh shucks. It's like a little valley, like a little incline in the lay of the land in there is just something different. Because it's this little difference in color between the blue and the white that gives you your illusion. Because that's all this is. It's an illusion of like something's really going on in here. Just like so. And that created another little valley. Then we'll come up here and start working on this one. This is our last one. We'll come up here and start working him out. Just like so. Just very, very gently touching it. Just like so. Alright, and then we'll go back up here and clean our outside edge up. Just like so. That's all we need. And just like that, we have a little mountain range. It's just here and there, laying in there, doing its own thing, you know. All right. Now we clean off our knife. Then we're going to pick up that 2-inch brush again, and we'll knock off a little of the, it's got just a very little blue on it, really not even enough to worry about, but we'll come up here at the bottom of our mountains, and following the angle of our mountain, we'll lightly touch, and this is a light touch. I'm not trying to destroy anything. It's just a very light touch, maintaining those same shapes, those same angles. Just lightly touch and work them out. We'll do the same here. Alright, then we'll do the same on this side. Going back that direction. All the way across the bottom. And then very gently, just kind of brush out some of the brush strokes along the bottom. Now, this part is where you very, very gently pull back up in the same direction that you came down. And that will pull that, it'll pull that paint right back up the mountain, and it'll make it look like it's just very softly sitting in that mist. Very softly. You just don't want to pull up real hard and get up into your mountain and distort all your work. Just like so. come along, work out the bottom. And it's just a very light touch. Just a very light touch. But just like that, you have a mountain range now that's sitting there in the little mist, just sitting there relaxing. All right, now we will take us, let's see what would be pretty in this paint. All right, let's use the mountain mix. We'll take a little of that mountain mix, and we will take some alizarin crimson and mix right into it. And that's going to give us a kind of a lavender color, because that mountain mix has different colors in it. This will be a darker lavender than what we made our mountain with, but it'll still be alright. Because what we're going to do now is I'm going to start about halfway, and I'm going to tap across here at an angle, and the further I go that way, the further down I'm going. I'm bringing this in here at an angle just like so. And then I want to do the same thing going back this way. I just want to bring it in at an angle, about like so, to where they meet in the middle. Alright, then out here, I want it to be a little thicker as it goes back in. I want to bring it out just like so. Then I want to do the same thing here. I want to bring it out thicker across here. And that's what I'm looking for. Just like that. Alright, now I want to come in here very gently and go to pulling up, straight up, with this 2-inch brush, and then shorter as you get to the middle. And we'll come out here. I want to do the same thing. Pull straight up. And it's important that you pull straight up, because if you don't, your trees are going to look like they sitting in a 100-mile-an-hour wind out here blowing over. Just like that is what we're looking for. We can come in here and kind of give it its pull back up. Yep, that's what I was looking for, just like that. And that looks like just thousands and thousands of trees back here in the distance. Alright, then we will wash that brush. But we're fixing to have one of these 2-inch brushes. So we may as well go ahead and pick one up. Well, I tell you what, before we need one of the 2-inch brushes, let's go up here and pick us up just a little bit of the Prussian blue on the brush. And maybe add just a tad of white. I mean, just a tad. Alright. Now, this is kind of what I'm going for. I want, and I don't know how this is going to work, but I want to come in here with a straight line across here like so. And I want this to be water. Across here like so. And I want this to be kinda straight. I don't need it leaning off the canvas. But now I can straighten it up with, with a couple steps that we're going to be doing next. But just like that is basically what I'm looking for. And this next step I can do it also with a 1-inch brush. I want to come along the bottom here, and I want to tap out across here. I want to tap out the bottom of these trees. Just tap it out. And that's kind of a rough tap there. It's not a gentle one like we've been doing. It's kind of rough. Alright, and then we will blend out the bottom. And we'll pull them brush strokes up. Just like so. Blend out the bottom. Alright, that gives us a little mist. And what we can do then is come into the blue with a very little bit of Van Dyke Brown into that blue that we pulled out for the water. We're going to bring in just a little bit of Van Dyke Brown, and we're going to bring in some sap green. And I want an off-color green here. It'll be kind of a dark green because we're going to come back and add some highlights a little later. But we want this to be a dark color green because we need dark color in here. Alright, we're going to leave some of the mist, and we're going to come straight across here, just like so, with that little tappy motion, just like so. Just tap it on very lightly. And we're going to come under that. Tap on a little more. And if you don't see what happened right there, let me point it out. By dropping down under that one right there, we picked up a little of that light. Plus, we're bringing our lead and land out a little further with each little line of grass that I'm bringing through here. Want to pick up just a little of that light under it. You can see how it's picking it up. And then when we come out here, we want to just come out past the one we just did a few minutes ago. Alright, now we get down here to the water. We want to leave that water in here. So what we're going to do is, here in just a second, we're going to take a fan brush and fix that. Alright, now let's come up here and come in here just a little. Now this is further away back in here, so we don't need a real definite to where it can be seen. We want to know it's there, but we don't have to. It don't have to stand out. like it does when you get closer to you. It's gonna stand out a little more. When we come back and do the highlights, you'll see it. All right, and we'll come in and get a little more. We want to come in from this side again. This time we're going to come right up to our water. We're going to stop and go back. We're going to do it again. We'll come up and stop and go back. We're going to do the same thing on this side. We'll come up to our water. We're going to stop and go back. Same thing again. And as we get to that water, we're dropping down just a little. So we're adding a whole different lay of the land now. See how it's kind of dropping down? And then for the finale across here, we want to bring this right at the edge of the water, just like so. But then on this side, I want to leave an opening in here, just like so. I want to leave a little opening. Because if you hadn't guessed already, there's going to be a waterfall here. Alright, just like that. We bring this color all the way back off. Then you come over here and just close it in. And you can do the same thing on this side. Just kind of come over here and close it in. Just like that. That's all we're looking for. Except for when we... Alright, let's go ahead and do that now. I'll get that brush ready to wash. I'm going to pick up this little fan brush right here. And I'm going to get the same color on it. And I'm going to come across here and just pull this color across like so. And then I'm going to work that color in all the way around with the fan brush. Just like so. Alright, then we'll go pick up just a little bit more sap green. Then we'll bring that sap green across here. And just tap above that line. Like so. Just like so. That's all we're looking for. Alright, then we're going to pick up our 2-inch, our big knife. We'll pick up some Van Dyke Brown on the knife. And I'm going to come across here under this green up here just a little. And I'm going to make a line across here. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Make us a line across here. Just like so. And carry that line all the way off. That's fine. You can carry it all the way off on this side too. That's fine. Alright. I'm going to get just a little roll. And I want to come in here. And I want to add just a very little bank. Very little. Back in here. Just enough that you can tell it's a bank. And you can pick up just a little on the on a corner and pull it in just like so. Just barely pulling it in, just to make it look like a little dirt, because you won't see it everywhere. In fact, when we get done, you probably won't even see that, but you know it's there for now, and I guess that's all that matters. All right, just like that, we're going to come in with a little more of the titanium white, get a little roll of paint up on our knife, come over here, put us in a little water line back in here, so we can tell it's water back here. Not like so. Alright, now, all down in here we're going to need some color. Well, we know the waterfall is going to come down, and we're not going to let it come down real far. I'd say probably, well, I'll tell you what, let's just make us a little mark up here. I'd say probably right there. We probably won't come no further down than that with our waterfall. And with that said, we will let's do that. Let's just add blue all the way across here. We'll just turn this whole thing blue across here for now. Get kind of darker down here at the bottom. Just like so. That's all we're looking for. I feel like we've been painting for 2 hours already. But that was a big mountain range. Alright, now, since we got so much blue on the brush, I am going to go into some cad yellow. And that should turn that cad yellow green with all this blue, I would think. Yeah, it did. Okay. Now with a little of this green on our brush, I'm going to come up and just start lightly tapping across here. Just lightly tapping. Highlight this little bit of grass we got growing back here. Now, if you've ever seen this grass painted by Bob, you know he always said that you could tap this color, and the more you tap it, the softer you can make it. Said you can make it look like soft silk. And he ain't lying. You can. But now if you don't want it to look like silk, and you want it to have that it's a certain look. It's a certain look you can get that kind of changes it up to where it just looks like soft grass tapped on, kind of like what it's looking like now. And that's generally the way I like to see it. We just want to keep the brush from sliding right here. That's the key here. You don't want your brush to slide. This is a tap on and tap off motion. That's all it is. Just tap it on and don't let the brush slide, because if it does, it's gonna streak up and it'll look pretty bad when it does that. That's all we're doing, is just working our way around. Keep in mind your lay of the land here. And when you get down to that brown, if you pick a little of that up, well, there's not a lot you can do about it at that point. Just work with it. Alright, and come back into your highlight color again. Load your brush up. Then come on this side. And work on the lay of the land again. Come across here. Just like so. Just like so. That's about all you need to do. We'll work some of this out back here. Just very gentle. Very gentle. About like that, that's all we're looking for. Alright, now I will pick up. Alright, let's do it with I've got a small fan brush somewhere. Have I already used it? Yeah, I have. Alright. Well, let's clean it. I'm fixing to have to clean some brushes. Alright, let's get this fan brush good and clean. Okay. Alright, let's get over here into a little of our blue. And let's come up here and pull our blue straight down. Just like so. Take a little more of it. Just like so. Just make sure you got your water falling straight in here, because you don't want to. You definitely don't want a crooked waterfall, because water don't hardly fall crooked. It's gonna have a tendency to want to fall straight. All right, just like so. And we'll knock this blue out of our brush. just like so. And we'll pick up just a little bit thinner. And we'll come up here and pick us up some of this white. We'll thin this white down, because our white is always thick. That white is a very thick color. Now you can use liquid white to thin this color down with, if you have any problems with it. But now, just like this, we're going to come up with the corner, and we're going to tap across the top first. Just tap across the top, and that'll give you some white at the top of your water drop in here. And then very lightly come up here and just shoo, shoo. Just let that color pull straight down. Straight down. And knock some of that color out. Get you a little more. And you can come up and start doing little sheets of color if you have to. You just got to have the paint to where it'll stick. It's got to stick to your other paint, or it's not gonna look right. Right. Just like so. Make it look like it's coming out of here, coming straight down, just like so. Alright, then you can come up here and touch and pull you in some white to make it look like that water's really moving. Just like that. Pull it straight down. And come back at the top with your white. You want it to look like you got a waterfall happening up here. Just like so. And then just very gently pull you in some color. You're still going to have some of that blue showing back there. And that's good. Just like so. Just make sure you keep that crest up here on top. Need that showing. And then down here where it hits the water, we'll start that right there. It's not all of it. I mean, all of it won't stay like this. We'll have to come back and work on it here in a few minutes. But right now, what we're looking for is our areas, our spots of what it is we're trying to do. Alright, now we'll get ready to wash that. Okay, I tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to make this a two-part video. So I'm going to stop it for just a second. I mean, I really don't even have to tell you I'm stopping it if it wasn't for the fact that you would see I don't know what happened, but I got something crazy going on up here. I'm not going to try to work on it because it's too far along in the painting to worry about. But I have got to make a quick stop. I will be right back, and we will finish this one up.